What happens when you demand perfection but awaken a nightmare? Karen strutted into the real estate office, her designer purse swinging like a weapon, her voice slicing through the air. "Every house you've shown me has bad energy," she snapped, glaring at Lila, the soft-spoken realtor who'd endured her complaints for weeks. Karen's list of demands was endless. No neighbors too close, no tacky decor, no weird vibes. Lila, with her warm smile and endless patience, nodded. But her eyes flickered with something Nawa's spark of mischief. "I have just the place for you," she said, her voice steady. Karen smirked, unaware she was stepping into a trap. Lila had been in real estate for a decade, navigating entitled clients with grace. But Karen was a category of her own. She'd stormed out of 5 showings, claiming one house smelled like failure, another had oppressive lighting, and a third was cursed because a bird flew into a window. Lila's colleagues begged her to drop Karen, but Lila saw something else, a chance to teach a lesson. She'd heard whispers about the old Whitaker house, a crumbling Victorian on the edge of town. Locals swore it was haunted, avoided it like the plague. Lila didn't believe in ghosts, but she believed in poetic justice. The drive to Whitaker House was tense. Karen scrolled through her phone, muttering about low-class neighborhoods, while Lila gripped the steering wheel, her calm facade hiding a growing resolve. The house loomed into view, its sagging roof and peeling paint screaming neglect. Karen wrinkled her nose. "This looks like a dump," she said, stepping out of the car. Lila smiled. "Oh, it's got character. Let's go inside." The air felt heavy, the wind carrying a faint, eerie hum. Karen didn't notice. She was too busy complaining about the overgrown yard. Inside, the house was a mausoleum of dust and shadows. The floorboards groaned underfoot, and a chandelier swayed despite the still air. Karen, oblivious, began her usual tirade. "This place is a disaster. The energy is toxic. Who'd live here?" Lila's smile tightened. "Keep an open mind," she said, leading Karen deeper. The temperature dropped. A door creaked open on its own. Karen froze, her confidence wavering. "What was that?" she demanded. Lila shrugged. "Old houses settle. Let's check the upstairs." As they climbed the staircase, a new figure emerged from the shadows. Mr. Grayson, the property's caretaker, a grizzled man with a limp and a penchant for theatrics. Lila hadn't planned for him to be there, but his presence was a gift. Grayson, who'd spent years tending the house, loved its haunted reputation. "You feel it, don't you?" he rasped, his eyes glinting. "The Whitaker family never left." Karen laughed nervously. "That's ridiculous. Ghosts aren't real." But her voice trembled, and Lila caught the flicker of doubt. Grayson leaned closer. "They don't like skeptics, especially loud ones." Karen's bravado crumbled as they reached the second floor. The air grew thick, almost suffocating. A mirror in the hallway reflected nothing but darkness. Though Karen swore she saw a figure move behind her. "This isn't funny," she snapped, her voice pitching higher. Lila, unfazed, pointed to a locked door at the end of the hall. "That's the master bedroom. Want to see it?" Karen hesitated, her usual demands replaced by a tight-lipped glare. Grayson chuckled, low and guttural. "They say Eliza Whitaker died in there. Still watches the house." The tension snapped like a taut wire. Karen, fueled by a mix of fear and defiance, marched to the door and yanked it open. A gust of icy air hit her, carrying a whisper that sounded like her name. She screamed, stumbling back, her heel snapping under her weight. Lila caught her arm, her expression calm, but her eyes dancing with satisfaction. "Bad energy, right?" she said softly. Karen's face was a mask of terror, her earlier arrogance gone. "Get me out of here!" she shrieked, shoving past Grayson, who was now openly grinning. But the house wasn't done with her. As Karen bolted down the stairs, a portrait on the wall, a stern woman with hollow eyes seemed to follow her. The frame rattled, and Karen tripped, sprawling across the foyer. Her purse spilled, designer sunglasses skittering across the floor. Lila followed slowly, her voice steady. "You wanted a house with no bad vibes. This one's just honest." Karen scrambled to her feet, tears streaking her mascara. "You set me up," she screamed, but her voice cracked, exposing her vulnerability. Outside, Karen's unraveling was complete. She stood in the yard, shaking, her perfect facade shattered. Grayson leaned against the porch, lighting a cigarette. "Told you," he said, exhaling smoke. "The house doesn't like complainers." Lila, ever professional, offered Karen a bottle of water, but her tone carried a subtle edge. "Maybe the next house will feel better. Or maybe it's not the houses." Karen, humiliated, couldn't meet her eyes. She climbed into the car, silent, her earlier demands forgotten. The twist came later, when Lila learned Grayson had rigged the house. He'd installed speakers for the whispers, a fan for the icy gusts. He'd played into the haunted legend for years, scaring off nosy buyers to keep the house untouched. "Didn't expect her to break so fast," he admitted, chuckling. Lila didn't care. Whether the house was truly haunted or not, Karen's meltdown was real. Her entitlement had collided with something she couldn't control, and the result was a lesson she'd never forget. Back at the office, Karen's name became a cautionary tale. Lila, sipping coffee, fielded calls from new clients, her calm restored. The Whitaker house stayed empty, its secrets intact. Grayson kept watch, his tricks ready for the next skeptic. And Karen? She never called Lila again. Rumors spread she'd moved to a condo, claiming her old town had bad energy. Some lessons, it seemed, didn't stick, but the story of Karen's downfall lingered, a reminder that arrogance invites its own ghosts. What do you think? Did Karen deserve her scare, or was Lila's trap too cruel? Share your thoughts.